Welcome back to the shop today, guys. We got a beautiful Saturday morning here. I'm going to work on some crosses that I've been wanting to get done for church. I've been making them for about the last 3 years. I came into the Catholic Church 3 years ago, and I made them for our confirmation group then, the candidates, and that's just something I've kind of continued to do. So I'm going to try to work on the ones for the people coming through this year, especially this year, because we're still not quite sure, at least in our area, whether or not those individuals are going to get to celebrate the Easter Vigil service. And with all the stuff going on and things being closed down, it's looking like we may not be able to have a traditional Easter service. So that's going to be kind of what I'm working on today, is to get those done for them and to get them to church so that they can get those out to those individuals. But I'm starting with what I typically make mine out of. It's usually just any sort of scrap 1x lumber that I have around. This was some shelving that my father-in-law had given me a few years ago that I've done several crosses out of since then, but it already had a stain on the wood, which works out well for what I'm doing, because once I put a paint layer over it, I kind of distress them, and so it doesn't look like raw wood underneath once I go ahead and distress the paint a little bit. And then it's a kind of a 2-layered cross, you'll see as I get going. And then the top cross is going to be made out of just regular primed white 1x. So I kind of spun stuff around to give myself a little bit more working space. This is kind of an example of what we're going to be working on, and this is one that I wasn't really happy with last year, so I kind of hung on to it as far as the template and stuff like that. But it's kind of, you get the gist of what it's going to look like, and then we'll, like I said, distress it. So the overall size on this cross here with what we're going to be building is going to be 13 for the centerpiece by 7.5, I believe. Yes, on the 2 side pieces, but they're actually by themselves about 2.5 inches, and then I used a Kreg Jig to fasten the 2 side pieces to the center board. Same thing on the top cross. It's going to be 1 solid piece, 1 Kreg Jig screw to fasten the 2 side pieces to the centerpiece. So that's kind of what they come out looking like. This is twine that I use just to kind of give it a decorative look around the center, and then these are furniture staples or furniture cleats that they use on like leather furniture that are just kind of decorative in the corner. I generally do something different on a lot of them that I make. They don't quite all come out looking the same, but like I said, I use a Kreg Jig to fasten everything, and we'll go ahead and get started, see how these come out. to the top cross. As we stated, that's 11 by 6. So I'll need 6 more center pieces and a dozen of the side pieces. Okay, so we've got all of our cut pieces. We're pretty much ready to go ahead and assemble them. I'm going to use the Kreg Jig that I've got here. If you get a Kreg Jig, it's going to come with a countersink bit for your screws, and then you're going to use the Kreg Jig to set up the depth. I'm using 3/4 material, so you're just going to adjust this stop to whatever depth of material that it is that you're wanting to do. And then same thing on the side here where you're going to clamp the piece in and drill. You're just going to set it to whatever your depth is. And then once you clamp the material in, you're just going to pick a hole that works for the piece of material that you're trying to drill, and then go ahead and drill your pocket holes and then attach everything together. Okay, so what we're going to kind of do to wrap up the crosses, so to kind of go over what I did, obviously I used the furniture tacks and it covers my nails where I shoot into the four corners of the cross, and then I used a clear lacquer over top of everything, just kind of gives it a shine. You can kind of see it up close. I was trying to distress the white, but it wasn't distressing in the way that I wanted it to, so I just kind of left it more of a stark white. So, I mean, there's really no wrong way, like we talked about, doing it. You know, just kind of whatever your taste is, what you like. On this twine, you can buy from any hardware store. I just do 3 wraps. And then I'm going to put a staple in the back to hold the twine. Now I'll just take my knife and cut it off. I'll just crisscross and do another 3 wraps. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much done. The last thing that I do is I use a Coke tab, and I'll use that for a picture hanger, and it just saves me from having to go get a specific type of hanger or cleat to put it on the wall, and it makes a good reuse for the Coke tabs. So. And that's pretty much it. Well, that's going to do it for me on today's video, everybody. I've still got a few crosses left to finish up. Hopefully this inspired someone to do a small project like this for someone else or for yourself. It really is very fulfilling to know that I'm putting them together to give to other people that may bring them some enjoyment, especially since this year they're probably not going to be able to have the normal service that they will at church. So, you know, it really is. It does you a lot of good, and it makes you feel good to be able to do something like this. If you got any questions, please comment down below, and I'll answer them as best I can. If you like these videos, please like, subscribe, share, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks.